Welcome to SAU News, a weekly broadcast brought to you by the School of Journalism and Communication. I'm Dustin Johnson.
And I'm Natasha Mirilov. Possible changes are coming to Southern's campus that could affect students as soon as next school year. SAU News reporter Charles Kamek joins us in the studio today to discuss the possible changes in the academic calendar.
Charles, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So Charles, tell me, some people are dead set against any of these calendar changes. What's the problem?
Well, one reason may be Southern synchronizes its calendar with two sister colleges. May graduation would fall on Mother's Day, the same date as all three schools, but that's just one change out of many.
Southern's engines are running full force right now as the new Adventist Education Alliance takes shape. This is a partnership between Southern, Southwestern Adventist University, and Union College. In order to make this collaboration work, Southern's calendars must align with the other two schools.
The main goal of changing the calendar is so we can collaborate with other institutions and reduce the cost of the education.
Southern would have to make several changes. School would start earlier, October break would be shortened, but Thanksgiving would be lengthened as well as Christmas break. The other big change would involve graduation moving to Mother's Day Sunday. The possible collaboration of Union, Southern, and Southwestern was discussed in the first issue of the Southern Accent. And now it is being discussed in Senates, both the University Senate as well as the Student Senate. Not all students are happy with the changes. Many feel it will disrupt the regular flow of Southern's campus.
We had faculty representatives present to Senate the proposal for the calendar changes, and the senators who had discussed with their constituents about these changes felt that most of the student body that they had talked to overwhelmingly felt that they did not want these calendar changes to happen.
These proposed changes have been reviewed by the Undergraduate Council and Senate, and if passed, will ultimately end up in front of the Board of Trustees in February.
If the changes are approved, 3 extra school days would be added over the year, 2 in fall semester and 1 in winter semester.
Now, we heard Dr. Beets say that a synchronized calendar would create a stronger collaboration between Southwestern, Union, and SAU. What does that mean?
Well, the university is interested in sharing small enrollment classes. For instance, in the future, you might enroll in an upper division class where the instructor is online at another university, and your classmates are enrolled from all 3 colleges. Such a class could save money and limit tuition increases.
We heard that fall break might be cut from 2 to 1 day under the proposal. What about spring break?
Well, spring break would stay the same length at 6 days, but would probably be later in March like Union and Southwestern.
So who will decide the calendar issue?
Ultimately, it comes up for a vote in Faculty Senate this Monday, but the final say will be up to the University Board of Trustees.
Well, let us know what happens.
Will do.
Thanks, Charles. How do you feel about the possible calendar changes? Post your comments to our Twitter feed at SAU News 1.
We may even use your tweet in our next broadcast. The university's live comedy sketch show is back this year. Studio 4109 features a new cast of writers and actors. During the season premiere earlier this month, I went behind the scenes to see what it takes to pull off a show.
Students filled the cafeteria for what some might call the funniest event on campus.
Studio 4109 is a show similar to Saturday Night Live, and they are on their 3rd season, the first episode.
Southern puts its own twist on the show, choosing popular faculty or students on campus that host the show with a cast performing skits alongside them. The show is not streamed live, but is for a live audience. It is also recorded and put on their Facebook page. The night featured a band known as The Lost Boys with lead singer Jonathan Blackburn. Other musical guests included Trisha Isom. Other sketches included a new show called The Feed.
Now, when you teach, what is one of the most important lessons you want your students to take away?
The night lasts about 2 hours with a 10-minute intermission where students can get food from the cafeteria.
I'm going to wait outside because the floor is disgusting.
Over 10 cast members make up the show with just as many crew members behind the stage. Actor Glenn Wilkins has been a familiar face among the cast because he has been a part of the show for all of its 3 seasons.
For one, it's kind of a way to get involved with something. It's a lot of fun to do the sketches we do. They're funny. they're funny for the audience, but they're funny for us too, so we kind of have to work that part out.
The big hit of the night for many in the audience was the band's final performance.
What a perfect way to end it. There is no other great part. That was awesome.
Yeah, boys, she's a perfect fit. I tell everyone.
Mark your calendars for the next Studio 4109 coming up on November 23.
Our very own Professor Kendra Stanton Lee was the host of the show. She teaches here in the School of Journalism and Communication.
Students who want to protect their GPA by dropping a class, listen up. The drop deadline is now much sooner than in previous years. The last date to drop a class is now October 31st. Previously, students could drop classes up until 2 weeks before the end of the semester and still just get a W or a WF on their transcripts. Now, if you were planning on dropping a class, you should hurry up because there are no exceptions after the deadline.
Amid studying for midterms last week, you may have noticed a lot of students waddling around the track. SAU News reporter Cole Taylor discovered a Duckwalk and reports on what the quacking was all about.
The Duckwalk is a twice-yearly cardiorespiratory assessment that requires you to walk 4 laps around the track and get your heart rate as high as possible. Some students walked just for fun, while others participated for class credit.
Well, for us, it was more of like a class thing because we have fitness for collegiate life. But I think it's like a good way to just like get your heart rate up and just like socialize because you don't have to like run or anything.
Very nice waddle. I like it. It's good and fast.
After the participants finished the 4 laps, they recorded their time and heart rate. Then, they were able to find out if their heart rate was above or below average. After the students turned in their cards, they were awarded with something other than convocation credit. Every 15 minutes, a new wave of walkers begins to walk. Once they finish, they fill out an orange card and are handed their Duckwalk t-shirts.
4 laps, walk fast.
This is Southern's 3rd Duckwalk, but it was the first time that convo credit wasn't offered. However, the t-shirts were well received by the students.
We've done combo credit in the past, and there were some challenges with that. So I really tried this year to find an incentive that students would enjoy that was different than combo credit. We got tech tees that are wicking, really nice, long sleeves. It's not just a white cotton t-shirt. And worked with a student to have a design and colors that we thought would appeal to both guys and girls. Just trying out a different strategy, really.
If you missed this Duckwalk, there will be another one next semester. For SAU News, I'm Cole Taylor.
More than 1,600 students, faculty, and staff completed this year's Duckwalk. That's 300 more than last semester.
The men of Southern now have a new place to go Sabbath mornings. It's called the Be a Real Man Sabbath School class, the brainchild of Collegedale family life pastor Tim Cross. He wants the class to first educate and then challenge men to be spiritual leaders God has designed them to be. Members are watching the video series called The Quest for Authentic Manhood by Robert Lewis. Each week, attendees discuss an issue as outlined in the workbook that accompanies the DVD. The Sabbath School classes meet Sabbath mornings at 10:15 in A.W. Spalding Elementary School.
Twice a year, Southern hosts a flea market on campus, but the events are usually held when most students are not around. However, that didn't stop SAU News reporter Smyrna Paz from checking out those flea market bargains.
Smyrna joins us in the studio.
Hi, Smyrna.
Hi. So let me see if I got this straight. Over midterm break, you spent your Sunday in the Talge Hall parking lot?
Yes, I did. That's where the flea market is all spread out. And there's so many cars, it's hard to find a place to park. You can find low-priced clothing, furniture, and even ice cream.
Clothes, hats, and Tupperware. There's a lot of neat things you don't find at a normal retail store. Here at the flea market, they're selling everything for a price. Some deals are better than others.
$50.
This is just one of the many bargains here at the flea market. As if you could see, there's many pearls you could find, and you just have to keep looking.
The Spanish SDA church served hot pupusas. One lady tried to get our attention with a handmade feather duster.
All right, South Africa, 1903, which was 110 years ago. The Beckner, grandfather of my husband and great uncle, invented ostrich feather dusters.
A lot of people may not realize the flea market helps fund scholarships for Southern students.
This is organized by the Veterans of Foreign Wars here in the Ottawa Collegedale Post. And we have the flea market here, and our money that we make from the flea market, we give 2 to 3 $500 scholarships every Christmas to worthy students at Southern.
Here at the Collegedale Flea Market, one person's junk may be another person's treasure.
If you're wondering if you can become eligible for the VFW scholarship, Merit Says Student Finance awards $500 scholarships to 3 students each year.
That's pretty cool, but tell the truth. Did you buy anything?
No, I did not, but the lady you saw in my story gave me a feather duster.
Wow, that's awesome. Have you used it yet?
Yeah, I've used it once to clean my computer.
So you said that the flea market is held twice a year. When are we to expect it next?
It comes back in May after graduation.
We're glad you were here during break to bring us the story.
Thanks, Myrna. McKee Library made some changes over the summer to enhance learning and especially writing. The Writing Center is a great resource, but its existence is somewhat unknown. Library officials have relocated the Writing Center from the basement to the first floor in a move to make it more accessible. The basement is now used for a silent study area.
And you need to focus, and you don't want even your cell phone to ring. And nothing, because we don't have cell phone service over here, so it's really to just focus. If you're able to just focus on it, that's the best place to do it.
Students requested a silent study area in the library focus group last year. But if you venture down to the quiet basement, beware of the rules. The library forbids talking, group study, cell phone usage, eating, and audio. Silent study is available during all regular library hours.
Almost everyone drives a car these days, but have you ever wondered why some people like to live in the fast lane? SAU News reporter Nathan Sturgis discovered what drives them to fast cars.
In many ways, the car is a symbol of the American dream. Words like innovation, power, and efficiency come to mind. But driving a sporty car helps to concentrate all those words into one: speed.
We get pollen here sometimes in the spring, this pine pollen, the yellow pollen, and I've always wondered how fast a guy would have to drive in order to blow the pollen off of a car, and I've come close to finding out.
Richard Erickson has been an associate professor of business at Southern for 30 years. He currently drives a 2008 BMW Z4 Roadster, and being the frugal businessman Richard is, he did his best to get a good deal.
I drove it, and it took me about 10 minutes, and, I'd already bought it in my mind. Of course, the salesperson didn't know that.
Kept that a secret.
I kept that a secret, right.
For Richard, driving a sporty car is all about having a hobby he can enjoy every day.
It gives me a little burst of fun or enjoyment every day when I come into work and when I go home from work, so something to look forward to.
Taylor Christensen is a nursing major that likes to live in the fast lane as well in her 2010 Dodge Challenger.
I like going fast when I can. I like doing donuts sometimes.
But the day Taylor got the car was exciting for a different reason.
I got home and the car was there, and I also got asked out by my boyfriend, and it was the best day ever.
All that made for a pretty special first drive.
It was magical.
For some drivers, it's more about the styling of the car than anything else.
I like things that look classy, and this car really has that classy look to it. Unofficially, people have called it the Batmobile, but I don't call it that.
Caleb Johnson has been driving his 2010 Infiniti G35 for 3 years, but he can remember the first time he drove it like it was yesterday.
I felt like I was in some kind of amazing supercar, and I was like, this is the most amazing thing because it's sliced bread.
The car definitely will remain an important part of the American dream for many years to come, but it also can be a hobby, a thrill, or a way of communicating who you are to the world. For SAU News, I'm Nathan Sturgis.
Wow, that Infiniti G35 had over 300 horses under the hood.
I wonder if that's enough to keep campus safety at bay.
Someone's going to have to try that out. Head down to the student park this Sunday night to celebrate the university's annual Fall Festival. That's a new location and a bit closer to campus than previous years.
SAU News will capture the festival sights and sounds and bring you highlights in our broadcast next week.
That's it for this edition of SAU News. We remind you this is a joint production of the TV Studio Production class and the TV News Reporting class, Performance class. I'm Dustin Johnson.
And I'm Natasha Mirilov. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.